Hello, welcome back, prep students. This is your teacher, Mr. Brown, and tonight I'm speaking to all those people who were assigned to write a chapter summary for Hatchet. So we asked you to do 5 things. First thing is to choose a chapter, obviously, and then to take some notes about the chapter, list the characters, break the chapter into sections, identify the main point of each section, and then decide one key idea or one main idea for the chapter. So I've chosen chapter 16 as an example. And chapter 16 is the chapter where Brian has 2 major events that happen to him. He gets attacked by the moose, and actually 3 things. He gets attacked by the moose, there's a tornado that comes and destroys his camp, and the third thing is he finds the tail section of the plane. So the first thing you want to do when you're writing a summary of a chapter is to first just reread the chapter. And when you do that, you should take notes at the same time. So as I was rereading chapter 16, I noticed that the beginning of the chapter started out with Brian, he was hunting. So I will say Brian is hunting for this bird, and he calls the bird, what does he call it? This is a fool bird. He's hunting for fool birds with his bow and with his arrow, right? And he gets one. He finally gets one. I think it's his 3rd one he gets. So then he goes down to the lake and he washes the fool bird at the lake. And then it gets exciting. So then there is a sound or there is a noise. And Brian turns and sees a moose. Suddenly he is attacked. And he's pushed underwater, right? Pushed underwater. And he doesn't get up for a long time. When he finally gets up, he notices that he has hurt ribs and shoulder. He then goes back to his shelter and he sleeps. I think he's so tired and in pain that he just goes to bed. But he's woken up later by a loud noise, which turns out to be a tornado. And the tornado destroys the whole camp. And then in the morning, towards the end of the chapter, he's looking out on the lake and he sees the tail section of the plane. And as a result, I think this makes the chapter like more of a happy ending, because the chapter has a lot of bad things that happened to him. And in the end, we always like to see Brian have something good happen to him in the end. Usually something positive happens at the end of the chapter. Whoops. So when you go to list the characters of the chapter, obviously you're going to list Brian. If you want to, you could list the moose, because the moose could be a character if you wanted to think of him that way. Now you're going to break the chapter into sections. There's, the beginning section, I guess you would call it, would be Brian hunting, right? Because that's how the chapter starts. In the middle, you could say, is the attack from the moose, and also maybe the tornado. And then the ending, probably the realization, or when he sees the plane, realization of the plane in the water, tail section of the plane. So it's always good to have a beginning, middle, and end to anything you do when you're writing. It's important to think about what's my beginning, what's my middle, and what's my end, whether it be a story or a paragraph or an essay. So identify the main point of each section. So, this one here, it's pretty, because we're only doing a chapter, the main point. So what's the main point of Brian hunting in the beginning? It's showing that he is comfortable and skilled, maybe, right, as a hunter, because he went out and caught a bird. That's pretty neat and pretty skillful. In the middle, it's the main point of the middle section. Well, this is when he gets attacked by the moose and the tornado. So I guess the point might be is that he's not as powerful, or I'm going to say in control, as he or us think. Because in the beginning, we were showing that he was in his comfortable, skilled zone as a hunter, which really means he's in control of the situation. But in the middle, he's not in control. He's so the main idea is Brian is very vulnerable, and he can be broken easily. In the ending, when he sees the plane, I think that one of the main ideas we have there, that there is a new hope that he can continue to survive. And then looking at the one key idea for the whole entire chapter. Now you could probably choose either the middle key idea or the end key idea. But you could also choose both, and here's how you do that. You might say a sentence. You might say something like, Brian realizes that he can survive in the woods, but he must also respect the power of nature. And when I say nature, what I mean is the moose and the tornado. Okay, so there we go. I've done 1 through 5. I'm going to stop here because I only have 10 minutes to record. So I'm going to post another video on how to write your paragraph.